I was taken by force into the army here in Kampala during the war, and I went there. I did not want, but later on, because of force, during the Second World War, I was taken to Burma, and I work there until now. I went through difficulty. I got the rank from my rank from the rank of Lance Corporal up to General now. My policy all over Africa and every African peoples wants freedom for their people. They have requested me to tell their leaders to give them this freedom and the same policy as I did here in Uganda, because here I gave a completely full economical independence to the people of Uganda. It is not because of the Muslims, because the people who broke relationship with Israel, they are not only Muslims, they are Christians, but they have seen the truth. But I'm trained as a paratrooper in Israel. But I have got a very good brain, and even General Dayan knows that I am very good field officer. But I must make it absolutely truth. The reason why I chased them from Uganda was because of the economy of Uganda. Uganda was going to be bankrupt. That is the reason why I chased away the Israelis. I changed from Israeli alliance because Israeli are criminals and they are not trusted people. They don't tell the world the truth. They were taken to Palestine as refugees, and then they changed Palestine to become a state of Israel by force of arms given to them by Americans and the British.
But is it true that you said Hitler didn't kill enough Jews during the war?
Why do you ask me about Hitler? The Hitler's problem is now past tense. Now we are looking forward for the future generations and the future plan. We are no longer going back to Hitler's. You see, the war of Hitler, it was a different war than the war today. If I am to prepare the war against Israel completely, no, I don't want very many Army, Air Force, and the Navy, just very few, and strike inside Israel and move people from the whole border towards Israel. I think the situation will be very difficult and very different.
To strike from inside with paratrooper, or
with the paratrooper, with everything completely. Yes, because you got to get there by paratrooper and also bombing by airplanes and having few squadron of suicide, these who are determined to be suicide, and I think that is already in progress, and they are practicing. The suicide squadrons are already in practice, in progress. As a pilot, when you are going to fight, you must not think that you are going back to the base, but you must fly while knowing that you are going to complete your mission. But if God bless you, you go back to the base. I think very many delegations meeting me now, preparing for this, and they come to conclusion. It is true. You will find it here, and this will change the time of battle, and we can command from here, not from the battlefield, but through communication.
And will there be Ugandans in those battalions?
I don't know, but any volunteer, even France, French volunteer, they are welcome also. But I welcome any volunteer all over the world. Even Japanese, even Vietnamese are there in these squadrons. But they are now in training. They are undergoing training now, 3 months. And then go to the Middle East and visit the war, see how they are fighting, and encourage them to fight. This was my decision. And I enjoy it very much, having breakfast with some Syrians and and Iraqi breakfast in the tanks. I was very happy. In October, while I was there, I was visiting troops. I had my troops.
You had some soldiers up there?
I had the Navy, yes.
Navy?
Yes.
Navy?
In Alexandria.
But you don't have Navy in
We
Uganda.
have trained.
Right?
Yes. Yes.
In 67, you were on the Suez Canal.
Yes, yes. But you see, I am only one who has been in both sides. During the 67 war, I was in the Suez Canal on the other side, and now I am in the Suez Canal in the other side. I like it very much. First, the armored, after crossing the Lake Galilee, reaching the foot of the Golan Heights, they are engaged by the enemy, and the officer commanding mechanized battalion asked for the support by paratroopers and air support. You understand? I'm just explaining to you. And while the armored and the mechanized regiment are being engaged, the Air Force gave support so that the paratrooper land by helicopter on the Golan Heights. We go quickly because helicopters are now coming.
Okay.
When you feel it helicopter. Right now, the armored regiments, they have been engaged below the Golan Heights. And the commander of the mechanized regiment requested for the support. And therefore, the paratrooper have been landing, fighting to capture the objectives, but air will come and give them support. They will be to capture completely the Golan Heights. Here. Left. Now advance. Advance. Here. Victory.
Every evening there is a news broadcast in 4 languages on television. The slightest event concerning the president is reported.
La télévision ougandaise vous présente son journal parlé. Au micro, Rutimil Alexis. À l'occasion d'une conférence de presse
During a press conference with French journalists held at the Entebbe Palace, His Excellency President Amin announced that he was in possession of a manual detailing all of the Israeli plans.
Possession d'un manuel contenant tous les plans des Israéliens.
Mecca and Medina should be today under the control of the Israelis. But because they lost the war in the first 5 days, they couldn't continue even further, and that is why it is stopped. But their aim is to capture Mecca and Medina. All the holy places all over the world should be controlled by the Israelis. This is their aim.
When asked if it was true that the Israelis wanted to poison the Nile, General Amin replied that they had indeed wanted to do so while they were still in Uganda.
Les Israéliens effectivement l'avaient voulu quand ils étaient encore en Ouganda.
They can poison the water, River Nile, from Uganda, so that the people who will be drinking in the other end, they will die.
General Amin remarked that the plans of the Israelis were even more disgusting than Hitler's against the Jews.
It is not me just speaking, but it is the truth and it is meaningful. And if you are to follow de Gaulle, he was a very great leader. Napoleon, very great leader. Mao Zedong is a very great leader. And this leader whom I am saying, very great, who is another you have said? Gaddafi is very popular, whether the people in the Arab worlds in somewhere against him, it is impossible. The black people in in America must be the president of the United States of America, must be the secretary of state like Kissinger. They are more brilliant than Dr. Kissinger. Kissinger is not very intelligent. Kissinger always go to the weakest leaders. He never go to Gaddafi. He never come to General Amin. He fears us. You see, this is what Kissinger is going. He goes only to the weakest leaders.
On speaking of the Americans, the general said that he had in his possession certain equipment that they used to spy on the Russian and Chinese embassies.
Pour espionner les ambassades soviétiques et chinoises. Il a noté que
He noted that President Nixon wanted to export Watergate to Uganda.
Watergate.
And you see, this is the mistake of Nixon, of Watergate he was bringing in Uganda. Taping all embassies, Chinese embassies, Russian embassies, all this problem was brought by.
And that's why they left, because they got afraid when you discovered the thing.
That is why they ran away from me. And I said that how can 250 million run away from only General Amin? That I am very powerful than Americans. I have no phantom.
But you have MiGs.
Hmm?
You have mix?
I have a brain because I discover their mistake in advance, because my brain work in advance than them. I have seen the whole African, how they suffered, including my father and everybody. I know this very well.
Can you tell
And
Can you tell some kind of a story with that happened?
I will just give you simple.
Example.
People used to carry British on their heads. British used to send, they make something like a stretcher and put a chair on top, and then they used to carry British for miles and miles. This is African carrying. And they used to dig holes and everything they used to carry when the British was here. And the Africans, when they make a mistake, they used to be beaten by canes completely by the British. I will never talk to anybody from Britain if Mr. Hiss himself does not come to me here. Yes, here in Uganda, because I declared the economic war in Uganda. If Mr. Hiss does not come, then it is not my problem. It is up to him. It is up to him now to beg me. If he doesn't beg me, it is up to him, because I am the one who has got the money. I am not going to borrow money from him, even I don't want.
Would you accept some Palestinian hijackers with their hostages in Uganda?
The Palestinians,
Yes, I read in the papers they were asking to be sent to Uganda or to Libya.
if they are sent here, I will welcome them. Because we believe in peace. And that is why in United Nations they have already passed the one of the agenda that the Black September should be treated as prisoner of war, but not other criminal, because they are fighting for their cause.
So you will put them in prison if they come here?
I don't know whether I will put them in prison, but I know how I will keep them. But they are welcome.
In Uganda.
Yes. If they want to come to Uganda, they are welcomed in Uganda. They have got a representative.
Having expelled the Israelis, General Amin installed the Palestinians in the former Israeli embassy.
But the people in some planes are innocent.
But you must not go in the airplane which is belonging to Israelis, to Portuguese, to South Africa. If you use this airplane, then it is up to you. You must choose, because the airplane is booked in advance. You must know this. It is not Black September's mistake. It is the people's mistake, because they are the one who choose what airplane they should fly in. You must fly in Air France. You must fly in East African Airway. This is very good.